reports many people fear more hostility than usual if politics comes up at the dinner table. So the question is, how do you deal with your crazy Uncle Wilbur, who just won't stop? We all have one. New York child behavior specialist Dr. Marcy Beagle is here to help us deal with Uncle Wilbur and so many more. All right, so there's a lot of folks who are just about to sit down to Thanksgiving dinner. What do you do? Do you not talk politics? Do you make a rule at the beginning at the toast? Nope, not happening. What do you do?
I would acknowledge it. I like talking about the big pink elephant in the room rather than pretending it's not there. Have the conversation. Emotions are high. It feels really personal for so many people. There's not much left to say that hasn't already been said. Let's take this holiday season to mend our relationships and come back to family.
Interesting, we've actually heard both President-elect Trump and President Obama sort of say similar things and strike that tone. If only we would take that advice. Are families more divided than ever? Are you hearing that and seeing that as you talk to families?
I am, because of everyone has such a strong opinion. Even when they're on the same side of the election, their opinions may differ on certain issues, and the passion which people are talking about it is still creating divisions across families everywhere.
You talk about the passion, and I got to thinking as we looked into this segment that the rhetoric from the candidates this election season and their surrogates was so incredibly intense and so divisive from the candidates themselves. Does that sort of give people freedom, you think, to just be a little bit harder and a little bit tougher on their family members who have a different opinion?
I think on both ways that's worked. I think it's brought people's passions up higher to support the candidates they believed in, but it also gave people permission to have some behavior similar to the candidates that were not quite ideal.
All right, so this is an issue that always comes up at our Thanksgiving dinner table, the issue of cell phones. About a third to a half of people, depending on what study you believe, sit down Thanksgiving dinner and pull their phones out. It absolutely is bizarre. Is it right? Is it okay to say, all right, enough, this few hours is just us?
I think whether it's Thanksgiving or a regular Tuesday night dinner, having time together with your family without technology is important. Take your phones, put it away, take 30 minutes and just connect with each other.
One question about dealing specifically with kids, and I know that's your specialty as well. How do you, in a larger sense, tell kids, hey, look, it may be that the president-elect can talk about people on Twitter or call names on Twitter. It may be that during watching cable news, you hear people call the president-elect or call other people really terrible names and say bad things about them. How do you then turn around to kids and say, okay, but when you go to school tomorrow, you can't do that?
Kids are aware of the contradiction. So call it out and say it. Say, yeah, it's not fair, but he's a grown-up and he's responsible for his own actions, or she's responsible for her own actions. And as a family, these are our values, these are our rules, and this is my expectation of you, and this is how we're going to proceed.
And if you don't live up to those values and those expectations, you don't get any turkey, you don't get any peas.
I'd give them the turkey and the peas, just maybe not the pumpkin pie.
Not the pumpkin pie or plucket cake as we all want.
Yeah.
Okay, you're in the middle of Thanksgiving dinner 3 hours from now, and the shouting match starts. Is there any way to really quickly kind of diffuse it that is perhaps other than just yelling at everybody?
My personal favorite line is, I love you too much to have this fight with you. I'm going to walk away and leave. Because once you're already in the shouting match, there's no redeeming qualities that can happen there. No one's going to calm down and start being rational, so just find a way to exit.
And I think we figured out from this election you're not going to change any opinions either at Thanksgiving dinner.
Not at this moment.
All right. Dr. Beagle, appreciate you being here. Enjoy your Thanksgiving dinner, which I know will be a peaceful one. And on that note, we'll be right back.